Have you ever experienced this? You wake up in the morning, still half asleep, and in that quiet moment, you realize you just had a full dream completely in English. You were arguing, you were laughing, maybe you were solving a problem, and you didn't stutter once. You didn't pause to translate. It just flowed. If you haven't experienced that yet, please, don't worry. Most of us focus heavily on the goal of thinking in English, and that is a wonderful goal. It stops you from translating from your native language, which we know slows you down and increases stress. But today, I want to take you somewhere further. I want to take you to that magical place where English isn't just a tool you use consciously, but a part of who you are, subconsciously. I want to help you learn English until you dream in it. Why does this matter? Because when you start dreaming in English, it is the ultimate signal that your brain has accepted this language as its own. It's no longer something foreign that needs to be processed. It has become second nature. Today, I'm going to share 3 deep yet simple techniques to access your subconscious mind, so you don't just think, but you actually live and dream in English. I want you to imagine your English ability is like an iceberg, the part sticking out above the water. That is thinking in English. That is where you consciously choose your vocabulary, where you focus on grammar, where you remind yourself not to translate. It requires conscious effort. It's like going to the gym. When you work out, you feel the burn. You use your muscles. You build strength. But if you stop, that strength can fade. It takes active energy. But dreaming in English, that is the massive part of the iceberg hidden underwater. That is the subconscious. When you dream, your conscious self has gone to sleep. No one tries to conjugate verbs in a dream, right? In that state, language flows in its most natural, instinctive form. The problem is, most traditional study methods only target the tip of the iceberg. We learn lists, we learn rules. These are for the conscious mind. To dream in English, we need a different approach. We don't need to study harder. We need to study deeper. We need to slip the English language past the guards of your awake mind and deposit it directly into your long-term storage. It sounds abstract, I know, but the methods to do this are actually very practical. Let's look at the first technique. I call this first technique the TWILIGHT method. Sleep science tells us that the 20 to 30 minutes before you drift off to sleep is a golden window for programming your subconscious. What you feed your brain during this twilight phase is what your brain will process, organize, and replay during the 6 to 8 hours you are asleep. But what mistake do we usually make? We scroll through social media, we read the news in our native language right until we close our eyes. This effectively locks your brain into your native tongue for the night. So here is your exercise for tonight. I want you to dedicate the last 20 minutes of your day to marinating your brain in English. But there are rules. Number 1, no new study. Do not try to learn complex grammar rules now. That wakes up your analytical brain. We want to relax it. Number 2, relaxing input. Choose a bedtime story for adults, a gentle storytelling podcast, or an audiobook you already know and love. Number 3, the native block. Once you start this routine, absolutely no more of your native language. No texting, no news. Think of English as a lullaby. When you fall asleep to the rhythm and melody of English, your brain continues to sing that song while you sleep. You are bridging the gap between your waking life and your dream life. The second technique is perhaps the most important key: emotion. Have you noticed that dreams are often illogical, but they are always highly emotional? You dream of being chased, fear. You dream of a lost love, longing. Or you dream of flying, freedom. The subconscious speaks the language of emotion. If you only learn English using logic, for example, table means this, love means that, English stays in your logical cortex. To get it into your dreams, you must anchor the vocabulary to a feeling. I recommend this simple daily habit. It takes just 5 minutes. Start a How I Felt diary. Instead of writing a boring status report like, "Today I went to work and drank coffee," I want you to write about the sensation. Write, "I felt overwhelmed at the office today, but the coffee was surprisingly comforting." When you use words like overwhelmed, furious, delighted, or exhausted, you are activating the limbic system, the emotional center of your brain. When you attach English to a strong emotional vibration, your brain tags that language as important. And what is important and emotional is what gets prioritized in your dreams. Don't just learn the word angry. I want you to frown, feel the heat in your chest, and be angry when you say it. That is how you anchor the language deep inside. We've talked about the night, and we've talked about emotion. Now let's talk about your daytime environment. To dream in English, your brain needs to be haunted by it. You need to create a data surplus. I call this the loop technique. Choose a short piece of audio, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. It could be a scene from a movie, a short inspirational speech, or a podcast intro. Your task is to listen to this on repeat for 3 days straight. Listen until you know every breath they take. Listen until you know the intonation perfectly. Listen until you get bored. And then keep listening. Why? Because when you get bored, your conscious mind, the part of you that analyzes and judges, stops paying attention. It gives up. And that is exactly when the audio bypasses the gatekeeper and flows directly into your subconscious. You will start to notice a phenomenon. You'll be in the shower, and suddenly a sentence from that audio just pops out of your mouth. You didn't think about it. It just appeared. That is the magic moment. That is English invading your subconscious. Don't chase 100 different lessons. Sometimes, going deep into one piece of content is more powerful than skimming the surface of many. Transitioning from just thinking to actually dreaming in English isn't something that happens overnight. It's like planting a garden. You water it every day, but you can't always see the roots growing deep underground. There will be days when you feel like you aren't making progress. Days where you still struggle to find the word. That is okay. Be kind to yourself. Remember the gym analogy? You don't get muscles after one workout. But if you keep your twilight routine before bed, if you connect your emotions to your words, and if you surround yourself with those audio loops, the shift will happen. One day, you will wake up, smile, and realize, last night, I was a fluent English speaker. That wasn't just a dream. That was a glimpse of your future self. My challenge for you: Try these 3 techniques for the next 30 days. Don't break the chain. Let English become your breath, your thought, and your dream. And hey, if you have ever had a dream in English, please tell me about it in the comments below. I would love to hear stories from your subconscious. I'll see you in your dreams in English.